Hey guys, I hope you didn't land on this video without watching part 1. If you did, this part by itself will not make much sense. So do watch part 1 by clicking on the box to the right before proceeding any further. Now, we have seen all the life forms that dominated planet Earth since millions of years. So what does the final dominant figure look like? Surprisingly, the final carving shows a very different life form that does not look human at all. You can see how the sculptor carved this figure with an elongated face and a pointed mouth. Could this be a mistake? No, if you look at ancient carvings of this final god called Kalki, he does not have the resemblance of human avatars like Krishna or Rama. Instead, he is shown with very different facial features. And the sculptor left another important clue to show that Kalki is not human but a completely different kind of being. Can you guess what it is? If you want, you can pause the video and take another look at the entire pillar and try to find out for yourself. In normal Hindu carvings, many figures are shown with multiple arms, but in this pillar, the sculptor has shown all the human life forms strictly with 2 arms. And notice how in all the other species that are not human, he has shown them with multiple arms. This is a remarkable detail that has no exception in all these life forms. The final figure is definitely not human because it is carved with multiple arms. So, the final life form that would dominate planet Earth and the human race would not be human at all. Do you think gorillas or dolphins are going to subdue us? We can all agree that there is going to be no other species on Earth that can subdue human beings unless the real gods descend from the sky. Scientists may call them extraterrestrials and religious people may call them gods, but the name does not matter. What really matters is that the ancient Hindu scriptures that were incredibly accurate about the past 9 life forms that dominated our planet is making the statement that beings from another world would be the final dominant force. So, if the scriptures were right 9 times, what are the odds that they will be wrong the 10th time? I personally think that this prediction of Kalki's arrival would also be 100% accurate. So, what would happen to human beings? What do scriptures say about Kalki? It is recorded that Kalki would be extremely virtuous and would quickly realize that most of the human beings are corrupt and dishonest. He would destroy the entire human race except a handful of honest people who show their complete devotion to him. Kalki would then take this handful of people and start a new civilization. In a book called Srimad Bhagavatam, Kalki is portrayed as capable of changing the color of his skin at will. His skin can be yellow and sometimes it can become black. Kalki would have no flaws in his thoughts and there would be no imperfections that human beings have. Scriptures say that he would arrive in a flying horse with a blazing sword that can kill 1,000 people with one swipe. To the scientific community, this refers to an advanced laser weapon because normal swords are not blazing and cannot kill 1,000 people at one swing. In ancient scriptures and sculptures, Kalki is accurately portrayed with an elongated face. However, this was modified by newer books in the last few centuries where he is shown as a human being. Now, Think about the marvel of documenting evolution 2,500 years ago by these so-called primitive men. How could ancient Indian scriptures write about all these life forms in perfect order? There is no way it can be a coincidence, because it would be similar to an archer hitting the bullseye 10 times in a row. If they had made one change, for example, if they put the turtle before the fish, the entire theory would fall apart. Remember, when Darwin published his book about evolution in 1859, people were amazed by his extraordinary theory. Yet, this was understood by ancient Hindus 2,500 years ago. Where did this extraordinary information come from? Could this information have come directly from otherworldly beings? Did they teach ancient Hindus about evolution? Hindu scriptures have recorded multiple incidences where gods landed on earth and passed on their knowledge to human beings. If this is true, did they also inform them about their arrival at a future date? How else was the prediction of the arrival of Kalki made? Now, remember that each carving shown is not an individual, but an entire group of life forms that dominated the planet. If we apply the same logic, Kalki does not mean a single god, but a group of celestial beings superior to humans. Is this the real reason why Hinduism has recorded not hundreds, but thousands of gods? Could this final dominant race arrive sooner than we think? In my previous videos, I've shown how ancient Hindus have documented vimanas, or flying devices that were used to land on Earth. Statistics show that UFO sightings around the world have doubled since last year, and in this month alone, it has increased 26% when compared to the previous month. Is this a clear indication that gods are preparing to land on our planet? Why else would more and more people see UFOs? Finally, is it possible to calculate the exact time of Kalki's arrival? Since most of the Hindu scriptures were modified a lot in the last century, and the embedded scientific messages were translated as mere mythical symbols, we have to depend on scriptures and sculptures that are truly ancient. There is one such ancient clock in Konark, which has the key to the exact time of Kalki's arrival. It has all the 9 life forms that dominated the planet carved on its spokes, and Kalki at the center to show the end of the world. This clock is so perfect that it tells time accurately down to the minute. But can we use it to calculate the end of the world? I hope you like this video. I'm finding a lot of intriguing stuff like this, so please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and talk to you soon.